Go ahead. Make my day.
Long live the king. You killed him. No. I am your father.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too. Ah!
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hello, everyone. It's Obsolete 2003 here with Augie the Froggy.
Hey,
Yes, and we are doing a movie corner of the horror movies of 2024. Doing a quick recap of the movies we saw, and we're gonna give you our top five honorable mentions, biggest disappointments, these movies, as well as our number one movie. But without further ado, yes,
I thought we were doing sleepy time gameplay.
it has been a
Or
minute.
what are these and intros? Is this what is this is movie corner?
Yes, it is a movie corner.
Okay, I'm confused.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, but all right, now I know we're just joking. But is there any movies though that haven't made your list because you haven't seen them yet, or maybe haven't come out yet that you can think of?
I think far we're pretty much going in. We're in, at the end of November. The only movie that I think that's come out or that hasn't came out yet would be Nosferatu. That one's coming out Christmas Day, so that's the one I guess I'm looking forward to that I haven't seen yet.
Without getting, there's a couple of movies that came out earlier this year that I've missed or just recently come out and may have possibly made this list, but I just want to mention them because I haven't seen them and I probably will see them before the year is over. The first one that I missed in theaters and I haven't seen yet on demand or whatever is Cuckoo. I haven't seen Cuckoo yet.
Oh, that's right.
That's one that I've been wanting to see. Another one that I've been wanting to see is this French movie called The Beast. It's a sci-fi movie. I don't want to know too much about it. It's very Lynchian-like looking. I don't know if it's horror. It's sci-fi for sure. It might be sci-fi horror, but I don't want to look too much into it. But that one has high potential for me to probably be on the list, but I haven't seen that one. And then the last one that came out recently, I think on Screambox or it's on demand and then it's going to go to Screambox, is a movie called Street Trash, which is like a remake of the old 80s street version of the movie Street Trash. And it looks pretty fucking crazy. It's the guy that did Fried Berry. I don't know if you saw that movie on Shudder, Fried Berry.
No.
Anyway, the same guy that did that is doing the remake. I'm assuming, yeah, it is a remake of the movie Street Trash. And Street Trash would be one of my hidden gem movies if we did another one of those countdowns. Street Trash would be one of those movies of mine. So I haven't. I'm interested in seeing that one. Like I said, The Beast, Cuckoo, and then like you mentioned, Nosferatu. Those are the ones that before the year is out, I probably will see, and maybe have to amend my list some.
Because I forgot about Cuckoo. That was the one that kind of came on my radar that wanted to see. I forgot it or just didn't get a chance to check it out in theater. But yeah, I'll definitely want to look into that one. The other two that you mentioned, I heard of them.
Yeah, because you're stupid and I hate you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, fool. Guess I'll get started then, or do you want to get started with your number five pick, or I'll get started with my number five pick.
You go ahead.
So this is my number five movie of the year. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. I don't know how you want to do this, but my number five movie, without getting too much into it, is called In a Violent Nature. That's my number five movie of the year. You familiar with this movie?
I am familiar with this movie. Yes.
So it's kind of like I guess it was dubbed as a Jason type movie or whatever, but like from the killer's perspective, a first person point of view. And I'm pretty sure I'm kind of going to hear about it a little bit later from your thoughts on it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to show up somewhere on your list. So without getting too much into it, I know it was very polarizing, and we can talk about it some more if it comes up later. But it kind of was art house mixed, kind of like art house horror, which was kind of weird. But I don't know. I saw it one time, and I would want to watch it again. So that's a big part of any movie that I like, is whether I'd want to see it again. And I think it did some interesting things without spoiling too much of it. I think there's more going on in the movie than, I don't know, maybe a lot of people who liked or preferred. But how do you want to do this? If it comes up later on your thing, we can talk about it more, I guess.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, so just a vague, no spoilers, too much spoilers on it, but I thought the movie did some interesting things. And I think it's a little bit deeper maybe I'm giving the guy a little bit too much more credit. No, I heard rumblings that they're gonna like he wants to do a sequel. I think it was successful, right? The movie did very well, or considering its budget and stuff.
Yes, so it was, I want to say, a financial success, and I did believe that they were lit for a sequel.
Yeah, so that's kind of like when I hear that, it kind of just I wish it was a one-off, but or gonna be a one-off. But anyway, that's my number five pick for the top five horror movies of the year so far. What's your number five movie?
For number five, I'm gonna go with the movie Immaculate.
I never heard of it.
Came out very earlier. It came out around April, right? Because it came out right around the same time Late Night with the Devil came out, and I guess Sydney Sweeney, she's the main actress film. But
Don't know who that is.
kind of one that I guess she's been in a few different shows and movies. I guess one of the shows is Euphoria on HBO, but she's kind of say a rising star. She's been a star for a while, but I forgot it came out around April, and I thought it was pretty cool because doing a promotion with it where it was like around Easter time, and for like a week or something like that, they were gonna show the movie for $6.66. You can go check it out in theaters.
It's a religious movie or a
Yes, it is.
demonic movie?
It's I guess a little bit of both. You can kind of I don't want to give too much away, but you kind of get an idea with the title being
Yeah.
immaculate.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen it. It is on Hulu now, I believe, so you can always try and check it out. But it revolves around her. I think it's here in the States, but she's going off to some was it a church or something or another, or a place for like nuns, and things happen revolving around her, and it kind of goes in this downward spiral. Like I said, I'm doing a horrible justice trying to describe this movie, but it's in my number five for the year. And
No, that's fine because you don't want, like you said, we're not wanting to give too much away. We're just kind of giving our little things about it. I guess when we get later on, maybe we can read the synopsis if we were, if we can do that. I guess
yeah,
maybe our top three movies or some shit. We can look at the IMDb synopsis of each one of those movies. I guess things a little bit more easier. But no, I mean that's good. I hadn't seen it. I'd probably hate it though.
basically.
Do you want to know what my number four pick is?
Really, but go ahead.
Right. Called I Hate Your Stupid Face, starring you. It's my number four pick.
It's you.
Obsolete 2003.
Obsolete.
No.
There's another Obsolete 2003.
Yeah, you're stupid. Hey. Anyway, my number four pick is a Shutter movie. I think maybe it had a theatrical release. I'm not sure if it did or not, or it might have been a straight to Shutter movie. It's called Daddy's Head. And I don't know, it was a very good low budget type horror movie. What I liked about it, it was real practical, and it kind of reminded me a lot of the movie our Dear Mother or Goodnight Mommy, the director of The Lodge, the directors of The Lodge. Okay, let me just look it up. But it's on Shutter. It's like, I guess the basic thing is it starts off, and then the trailer. I watched a trailer recently today. Wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather go into it more blind, I guess. But like the trailer gives away some of the scarier moments, or like we watched it, like we were pretty impressed with like some of the scary scenes. Then when I was looking at the trailer today, the trailer like fucking shows most of them in the trailer, which is like, man, that kind of sucks. Like, I'm glad I didn't really pay attention to it. I remember it coming up in my Google feed, and we ended up watching it. But I would recommend maybe not watching the trailer and just kind of watching like the actual movie if you're gonna check it out. But anyway, movie kind of starts off, and I'm trying to look for the synopsis, but I'm too slow. A boy and his stepmother fear for their safety after an eerie creature resembling the boy's recently deceased father visits them. So kind of awkward because the boy in the movie is the son of the man that died, and like it starts off like that. The boy, they tell the boy, and it's in the trailer, and it's just not giving away anything. It's like the first couple minutes. The boy's in the hospital, and the father's all fucked up. His face is all bandaged up. His body's all bandaged up. They're telling the boy to say goodbye to his father because he's gonna die. And the boy had, I don't know, sometime before that had lost his mother in an accident, and the dad remarried. So it's part of the movie is whether the new mom or the stepmom is not blood related. Is she gonna take custody of this kid or not? And scary shit ensues. But I thought it was a well done movie. So without getting too much into it, yeah. So the dad dies, and the boy is kind of living and dealing with that, while also trying to see whether the mom is going to take custody of him and shit like that. I thought it was well done. It does have some pretty decent scares in it. That's my number 4 pick.
Nice. And for me, number 4, I believe I'm gonna go with Speak No Evil. Is it a remake? Was it also a Shutter movie?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe Shutter bought it, but yeah, it's a remake, not too from a couple years ago, I guess, from maybe like I don't know, maybe less than 5 years ago.
Yeah. But just to read the quick synopsis. He's invited to spend a whole weekend in a lonely home in the countryside. As the weekend progresses, they realize that a dark side lies within the family who invited them. And thought it was a good movie. It pretty much based on the synopsis, the family goes, they think they're getting a nice retreat, but then things start to devolve. And I mean, was it James McAvoy?
Yeah, James McAvoy, and then the woman from Station 12. I don't know her name, but comes out in Station 12
I didn't see
or
Station.
Station 11. You never saw that one, the HBO Max show?
Oh yeah, okay, no. Are you talking about Apocalypse show?
Yeah, and then it was like about the play and the science, the book, and the
Yeah, okay, now I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that fire show.
the Tacoma FC or whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid, man.
Mackenzie Davis is her name.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. Oh man, I fucking like that movie a lot. The original. Had you seen the original? You said you don't remember it.
I saw bits and pieces. I didn't see the whole thing, but I can't remember what the original title is. But yes, I believe
Well, the
it.
original is titled "Speak No Evil" as well.
Oh, was it okay?
Yeah. The original one is way more brutal. Like I thought they did a good job in just giving it away. Speak No Evil is my number 3 pick, so that's my number 3 pick so we can talk about it a little bit more. So that's my number 3 pick is Speak No Evil.
Mm.
It was a lot like the original, but it was also different enough where it was like it was worth them like more Americanizing it more. And but the original one it's fucking brutal. The ending is just brutal. And to me, this is more in the vein of like the barbarian with like the social horror kind of.
Mm.
I like this movie a lot, and I like all the movies on my list, with the exception of number 2 pick. I've only seen once and would like to see again. But the guy did a lot of neat, interesting things in this movie. I like the dynamic. He changed up from the original one. And maybe I'll put it in the comments. I'll look it up more. I don't know if it's the same director that did both of them, not, but I liked it a lot. And there was a lot of interesting, like they changed up the dynamic from the original one, from the husband and wife, the main husband and the main wife. Not giving too much away. Like I don't know, like the what this movie did. It's like social horror that I was really impressed with was that it would push things to where in your head you would be like, oh, that's not believable, but it kind of is believable in that situation. Like leaving the kids with the random babysitter that's a dude in a different country. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning of the movie, they leave their what is it, their son or the daughter? I can't remember. Their daughter, right? Leave their daughter with like babysitter that's like a foreign babysitter, but it's a woman. You don't think too much about it. Then the same scenario happens again later on, but then it's like a different situation. They leave it with some guy, and they're more concerned and more worried. And like in your head, you're like, "That's fucking like, well, that's crazy. Why would they do that?" But then it's like, "Well, how crazy is it?" It's just there's a lot of things like that come up in the movie, like the dad going back for the doll and coming back and looking for the doll, and like it's just the doll, but then it's kind of believable in a way that he would. I don't know. There's a lot of little things. Then maybe if we do a deeper dive into it someday, like there was this, like the dynamic between the husband and the wife. I really liked it in this movie. And the wife is more domineering. There's this brilliant scene that maybe I won't ever get to say it, but like, and they're kind of when things hit the fan and they're looking for weapons to find wife who's been kind of like more dominant one, and the husband kind of being like not like I guess the beta they would call the guys. Like he picks up a hammer and she wears these like kitchen gloves and she gets like some can what does she get, some spray or whatever, but it's weird. It's like he picks up the hammer and she picks up like the cleaning supply thing to try to like use as weapons, and it was just an interesting shot that they did in that where like husband who wasn't very manly or masculine or is emasculated a lot in the movie. The point he gets a hammer, and the woman who is more domineering, the Mackenzie, whatever, gets like the cleaning gloves, and she gets like cleaning spray to use as her weapon. I thought that was just like an awesome shot. Anyway, I'll shut up about it, but that was my number three pick anyway, so we can kind of back off that. That was my number three pick for top movies of the year. So, what's your number three movie?
Number three, I'm gonna go with Heretic. I pulled up the thing real quick. It's the Heretic. Two young religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. And strange man was casted by was Hugh Grant.
Yes.
I don't know. I like the movie. It was definitely not like a cougar undead entity. It was more suspense of just the build up. The two women, I guess they were what, Mormons?
Yes.
Two Mormons trying to
Uh,
spread the word of Jesus and all that fun stuff.
yeah. I wasn't too crazy about it, but I would most definitely watch it again. I saw it together actually, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I do want to see it again, and I'm hoping that there's more there on a second time. There's just some plot things that I didn't like what they did, or that it was just kind of convenient for convenience sake or whatever. But overall, I liked a lot of it, but I guess I had high hopes for that one too. I mean, it wasn't one of my big disappointments of the year, but it was close to it. Like I was really excited about it for a long time, but it's not a bad movie at all. But I don't think it to me. It's not one of my best of the year.
Oh,
No. So like it's interesting though, like because I like that they have to choose whether they believe, and it's like a test of their faith and all that stuff.
yes.
All stuff that I like actually, but I don't know.
Way it was
You-
done or delivered.
Yeah. You want to know what my biggest fear is?
It's that.
Being serious, dude. So fucking be serious. I'm being serious to you, dude. Biggest fear is not believing something when I should believe it. This movie taps right into that. It didn't do anything for me. I guess that's why it's kind of more like I was expecting more from it. I don't know. It wasn't bad. Like the acting was good and stuff like that. So that was your number three pick.
That was my number three.
Right. I don't know how you want to do this. I have a feeling if I go on to my number two pick, maybe we should switch because I have a feeling that my number two pick might be your number one pick.
I can go
Which
first.
all right, so yeah, we'll try it that way because my number two is almost my number one. That sounds weird, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, what's your number two pick?
Number two pick, I want to go ahead and go with Long Legs.
Okay.
And the synopsis: in pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues she must solve to end this terrifying killing spree. And we kind of spaced on this before, where the same director did the Black Coat's daughter.
I think that his name is Osgood Perkins. I think
Yes, that's the director and writer.
yeah, Anthony Perkins' son. But yeah, he's getting a name for himself now. I know this was a big success, and there's already teaser trailers for his movie coming out in February. It's like some Stephen King monkey shine looking movie. I don't know if you've seen those teasers for that.
Yeah, I thought it was Monkey Shine too, but it's not. It's I think more the Monkey Paw, but not Monkey Shine.
Yeah, I don't. And it's not Monkey Shine either, but like, yeah, it's just like a Stephen King monkey movie. But it's like, they were showing teasers for that. Like, I think Longlegs was still in theaters, and they were still showing teasers for that. So it's good. I like the movie. Kind of, to be honest, I took it off my list just so I could give a little bit more time to, or just a little into Daddy's Head
Mhm.
because that's a lesser known movie. I saw Longlegs was the other movie. I saw Longlegs 1.5 times this year, so that's the other one. Shit, you not, dude. I told you, right? I was
Yeah.
fucking just got out of work and I was all diehard wanting to see it, and I fucking fell asleep. God damn it! And then I called Nicholas, and then the next day I was like, "Hey, do you want to go see the movie?" And we ended up seeing it the next day together. But first time I was half awake, and the second time I was fully awake. I liked it a lot, and I liked the Black Hood's daughter a lot better. But that's not because this movie was bad. I like Longlegs a lot. I really do want to see it again.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm not getting too much into it, like no spoilers, but like the thing that I didn't like, and after the fact was, I think I talked to you about it, was those fucking trailers with the this is whatever her face is, this is her heart rate. this is our heart rate. See Nicolas Cage for the first time. Did you see those trailers?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. They were like aggravatingly bad. Like all the other trailers for this movie, like were badass. Like the teasers and stuff. There was this one that like it's just horrible. Like it just playing up like, and it probably helped the movie a lot. Like that Nicolas Cage was supposed to look like some fucking crazy looking thing too. That's who want to go see the movie for that. And that it just shows like that scene where the actress is going into the interrogation room to see Nicolas Cage for the first time. I guess the actress hadn't seen him for real until that part. They had a thing on her heart rate, like they were showing her heart rate going really high when she first saw him in that scene or whatever, and that acting in that scene.
Mhm.
It just seemed too like gimmicky. It took away from it. If I would have seen that, it would have kind of like irked me more than not seeing it going into the movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't see too many trailers. I mean, I saw I guess a few in the theaters, but I know you had told me before that there's like a whole bunch of YouTube trailers and shorts, and I still haven't seen them yet. To check them out. It's definitely an interesting, especially towards the end when it starts kind of going, I guess, what the third act, the I guess the kind of cat and mouse game, and I guess the main detective, her and her sixth sense or her shinning power.
yeah. I don't. I like that. Like I like the abstractness that it went. Like it wasn't just like a straightforward. I think a lot of people will be surprised by that, like how kind of abstract or kind of weird it gets.
Yeah, because it was cool. I can't get too much, but like yeah, with the director used the same girl from the Black Coat's daughter in that one killer scene.
Yeah, that was badass. I remember. I didn't know this until you had mentioned that to me. But
Uh,
I would see that movie again if like there's so many other movies I want to see though, but that would be the one that I want to repeat.
same, I definitely want to watch it sooner than later.
Yeah.
That was my number two. So what is yours?
I think we should break real quick because I'm pretty sure my number two is your number one. And maybe we should just kind of suspense for it a little bit. Number two is also Nicholas's number one, so I don't know if that helps you any, but
Yeah.
so maybe we can get into the next segment and we'll come back to that and we'll finish it off with that. I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we'll circle back to your number two.
And that'll segue into you talking about it too, because yeah.
Moving on, we are going to our next segment, which would be, I guess, the biggest disappointment for movies of 2024.
Yeah. And you said you had two movies and I have two movies that were our biggest disappointments.
That is correct. And if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and let you start off with your two.
Okay, and this my the first one I'm gonna mention is Maxine. It wasn't a bad movie, and I know we did a thing on it, but that would be one of my biggest disappointments of the year. Just because I was expecting a lot from it, or I was wanting, I should say, like as a fan, wanting a lot from it. And we did our movie corner on that one, but I just don't think they did the character enough justice. And I know supposedly they're gonna come out with books about the three movies, X, Pearl, and Maxine, but I was disappointed. It had some moments that I liked, and overall it was a decent movie. It wasn't a badly made movie. It was just I was just disappointed. I wanted more from that. So that was my first disappointment movie of the year. And then the second movie, my biggest disappointment movie, my biggest movie that I guess the biggest disappointment for me from movie wise this year was Late Night with the Devil. I remember when it like I was excited about that movie like when like they first started showing stuff of it. It looked cool, it looked interesting. And same thing, I was excited for it for a long time. Didn't get to see it and was like, okay, well then when's it gonna come out on Shutter? When's it gonna come out on Shutter? Kept constantly checking and hearing good things about it. And then when I finally did see it, it wasn't worth it. Like that movie to me wasn't I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie. Maxine was a lot better than that one, but that when I saw that one, to me, it wasn't. I didn't like it. They didn't like the way they did a lot of things, and I didn't like. I thought the intro was bad. The way they kind of started the movie up, and certain other things I just didn't like.
Mhm.
But I was really excited and amped for that movie, and that movie is the one that disappointed me the most this year. So, Late Night with the Devil was my biggest disappointment. What are your two disappointing movies of the year?
Uh, the first one I'll go off with would be In a Violent Nature. And I don't know. I know it was in your list previously, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it. And it was the movie I was they were they're hyping it up. I got into the hype, and then the whole Stephen King praising it, all that fun stuff. And went to the movies. I saw it, and I was just like, I get the whole. It's basically super low budget Walmart version of Jason killing from Jason's perspective, I guess. I get. I mean, it seems super low budget, very low budget, and there's like no background music or anything. And I don't know. I just couldn't get into the movie, especially like the first time when he was walking, and it's this over the shoulder camera angle, and it goes on for like a good minute or something like that. Then they do it again for like another 3 or 4 times in the movie, and I don't know. It got old fast.
I liked it. I thought it was, and again, like I said, I knew it was gonna be on your. I knew it was gonna end up here. I like it, kind of like jazzy. It's like herky jerky, and it's not a perfect movie by any means. I like that they did some different things, and that it was a little bit art house, a little bit weird, like in an odd way. It kind of reminded me of Castaway. Like, not like, again, I don't like, this is not a spoiler thing. We don't, where we want to give too much away, but like, I don't know how much you remember Castaway.
Mhm.
But to me, the amulet in the movie is kind of like the package, that last package in Castaway that Tom Hanks
Yeah.
holds on to.
Yeah.
But I think there's more going on to it in it. But then sometimes I hear the fucking director talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, there's not really anything to it or whatever." And like fucking like I overthink things sometimes, man. Like there's a scene at the beginning where he's like the fucking killer guy is reaching out his hand, and it looks like the picture of what Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel, where he fucking painted of God reaching for David or whatever, the hand like that, and he's reaching for the amulet. I don't know. And then it's like, well, that's about humanity, and the movie's kind of about the amulet's kind of like his humanity. So I don't know. I just overthink sometimes, but I think there's more going on in that movie than maybe. I don't know, but I do want to see it again.
I know Nicholas hasn't seen it yet still, so maybe yeah, we can get together and check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I was so disappointed when I saw that movie, and when it was done, it's just very unfulfilling. I know it won whatever horror movies festival or award thing. It won an award for like best kill scene, which was the
Yeah.
yoga kill,
Yeah.
which I will admit that was a pretty unique death, but it was few and far between. Yeah, it's just I think that was probably like this year's Skinamarink, but it was a lot of hype, a lot of build up. To me, I just left very disappointed.
We need to do a thing on endings, like again, not to spoil anything, but like that has a similar ending to like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Stranger Darling has a similar ending where, and there's other movies that end like that, and it's like I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. I don't know, but yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too much into how it ends and stuff, but
Yeah,
I know the ending too. A lot of people weren't too crazy about that ending.
yeah. So it's just
What was your other disappointing movie?
Uh, well, it wasn't, I guess, truly horror per se, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Joker 2, and I don't know. Yeah, that movie is just so horribly bad, and but not that I went in with like super high expectations, like, oh, this movie's gonna be awesome, but it was just it felt like not necessarily a bait and switch, but not for it basically being a musical, a crappy musical at that. Not once did any advertisement advertise it as such. And just about anywhere and everywhere you look and watch or like see reviews on it, I don't really see anyone praising this movie.
I told you too. Like that's the one movie I haven't seen too. I'm fucking curious about it. I'm super curious about it. It came out at a bad time, I guess, for us, where we didn't get to see it. But like I was jokingly, but kind of half joking with you. Like the more you hated it, the more I thought I was gonna like it. And I was like, man, if fucking Ops thinks this movie's that bad, it has to be good. And then when I told you when fucking Paul Schrader wrote a review that it was such a bad movie, it blew up my world because I was like, fucking Obbs and Paul Schrader can't have the same opinion on the movie because fucking Obbs movies taste sucks and Paul Schrader's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm conflicted, but I'm gonna have to see this fucking movie. But yeah, once I heard Paul Schrader didn't like it, I was like, oh man, I don't know. But even though you're the biggest Lady Gaga fan, that didn't help any.
Oh, no, no, it didn't. And
Man, that's fucking crazy though. Like I still haven't seen this. I can't really say much about it, but from fucking Joaquin Phoenix winning an Oscar for this fucking role to like basically yeah, like everybody hating this fucking movie. That's fucking crazy. Like I don't know. It's ballsy though, man. Like, I give that fucking guy credit for that. At least it's ballsy doing the movie. I mean, and I know it's a super big financial flop. Like I don't know why the movie had to be so fucking expensive either.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be the end of that guy's career for the director for doing this, but it was pretty bad. And yeah, between it was I guess Warner Brothers that did this movie, and Furiosa also tanked, so they're in the red pretty bad just from those two movies alone. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like I don't know.
because yeah, the director guy, I guess he at some point told someone or another that it wasn't going to be a superhero movie, and the guy in charge of the superhero aspect of the DC division was like, "Oh, we can give you some pointers or input," and he ignored them. He ignored the executives at Warner Brothers. They basically gave him a blank check, and this is what he did with it. And yeah, it was bad. It was a really bad movie. And and Violent Nature, like I said, I wouldn't mind rewatching it with you guys. It's kind of whatever, can poke fun at it. But with the Joker, I have no incentive at all to rewatch that movie. That's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours that I'm never gonna get back.
I don't know. You're changing my mind. I think I'm gonna like it now. Uh,
But
I don't know.
yeah, that those are my two disappointing movies. Yeah.
All right. Well, we also have two of our worst movies. I guess kind of. I know it's kind of contradictory, but two worst movies. Two movies that were kind of. I would say were the worst movies of the year for me. The first one was a Netflix movie, fucking called Spaceman with Adam Sandler.
Mm.
I just recently saw that. Like I was just looking at movies that came out this year, and I just added that one at the last time, but that one looked like it was gonna be decent. And fucking Paul Dano's in it. He usually does pretty good movies, and I just remember being so disappointed in how stupid that ending of that movie was, and just I don't know. That's all I can say. It's like it was bad. The ending was so bad and such a cop out, and the movie before that was okay. It wasn't super great. It looked like it was going to be much better than what it was, but the ending just kind of killed it for me. I mean, that's not really worth shitting on too much because it's a fucking Adam Sandler movie. But he does have a decent record when he tries to be serious. I mean, the fucking Precious Gems or
Uncut
that fucking
Gems.
movie, Uncut Gems and Punch Drunk Love are awesome. But yeah, this movie was not. And the other movie, the worst movie of the year for me was fucking Trap by M. Night Shyamalan.
I thought you were gonna say the band.
Headstrong. Hey, anyone. No, that movie was just fucking awful. Like it just didn't make sense, and it was just like he was just trying to make a concert movie for his daughter, and there was just so much like suspension of disbelief out the wazoo. Like you had to like if you let your mind suspend for that much longer, like you would be comatose or something, because it was just these stupid choices and all these fucking things and that happen and that occurs and without giving anything away. Like the first half of the movie wasn't great, but the second half of the movie gets really fucking bad. And all these escapes and all these things and all these fucking it was just bad. And like again, I don't want to get into too much detail because it's not what this is. But just a lot of the logic in this movie is bad, and the choices don't make sense, and it was just dumb. And then his daughter made that movie that earlier this year, which was one of the worst movies too, but it was way better than this movie. The Watchers. You said you saw that one?
Yes, yes it is.
I thought that movie wasn't that great either, but it was way better than this movie. And then his daughter's making better movies than he is. That's two separate daughters, but still, it's like that was my worst movie of the year. And it's like Shyamalan, like you don't expect much. My thing was already low for him, and like I had low expectations, and he surpassed my low expectations and made it shittier movie than I thought was possible for him to make. So that was my worst movie of the year. What are your two choices?
Uh, The first one I'm gonna go with for worst movies will be A Quiet Place Day One, and I don't know. I was expecting more from this movie, but I don't know. It had moments here and there, but at the same time, it still just wasn't good. And
That was another one that I didn't see this year, but I wasn't a fan of any of the Quiet Place movies, the first or second one.
well, I liked the first one. I liked it quite a bit. The second one was just like it kind of went and then I guess really expecting more answer from this movie, this third one. But it didn't really there was really no answers. It was a lot I guess more action sequences since like the first two were kind of like hush and quiet and watch your step. This one's just kind of like more havoc, more chaos, and it did get to its I guess its quiet scenes and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, they made a video game out of A Quiet Place. I don't know where it fits in all the movies, but they it's doing well enough that they made a video game about it.
I was unaware of that, but the first Quiet Place sucked bad anyway. So that's another one where I feel like the logic is bad. I don't know. The choices are I don't know. It's stupid, but yeah, I didn't see that one. I would see it though. I'd watch that one since I saw the other two, but it's not on my high priority list.
Yeah.
What was your other movie? What's your worst movie of the year for you?
Worst movie for me that I think I'm gonna go with is gonna be the Crow remake. And this has been a movie that's been in production for shit a really long time. It went through numerous directors, numerous main actors, that choices I guess that they were trying to pick and who it was going to be.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that you didn't like it because the guy wasn't sexy enough for you, or what?
Just didn't do it for me. It's all the tattoos and the mullet.
I don't even know who the fuck it was, but it looked bad. Yeah, I don't even know why you watched it, dude. It looked bad from him. Nothing about it looked promising.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's on you.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I knew it was gonna be a train wreck. And went to see just to confirm, and like, yeah, this is a train wreck. And there was really nothing redeeming about the movie. I mean, at least it was more entertaining than the Joker 2. I mean, I'm not gonna make any effort to rewatch The Crow, but it was still more entertaining than the Joker. But I don't know. I think maybe had it not been a remake and been something else, not trying to piggyback off The Crow, it may have been slightly better, but it wasn't a good movie. I say plot holes or maybe suspension of disbeliefs. It was just bad. I don't know. There's not really a whole lot of good to say about it, but yeah, saw it. I was like, oh, I knew this was gonna be trash, and sure enough, it was trash. But
Yeah,
that's
I
part
mean,
of
I guess that's a decent one. I mean, it looked bad, but yeah,
I mean, it kind of had potential, but like I said, I think had, and that's another thing, just the fact that it already had that going against it. That's rebooting or remaking The Crow from Brandon Lee, and it's just like, oh shit. It's like a lot of people are already shitting on it. It's like, yeah, this is a dumb idea to try and do that. It was poorly executed, poorly done. And they maybe kind of left it open for a sequel, but hopefully not.
well, you'll be there day one to watch it.
Is that a callback for A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
So yes, those the biggest disappointment and worst movies. Do we want to go to honorable mentions now?
Yes. So I have three honorable mention movies. I won't talk too much about them, but these were all awesome movies that I want to see again. And the first one is, well, I'll just throw it out there. Long Legs is one of my honorable mentions. Like I said, it was on, it could have been on my top five, but I kind of switched it out last minute with Daddy's Head, just because that's a lesser known movie. So Long Legs was one of my honorable mentions. I saw the TV Glow as one of my other honorable mentions. I thought we saw that one together too, very Twin Peaks ish, and it was a very good movie. I would recommend that director's other movie before that, like something we're all going to the World Fair or some shit like that.
Mhm.
That movie was fucking awesome too. It was better than this one, but it was interesting. It was good. It was well done. But I saw the TV Glow. It's forget the name of the director, but it's promising. I like that movie a lot, and I want to see it again. And my last honorable mention is the movie Oddity, a Shutter movie. It also had a theatrical release, and I like this movie a lot. It's flawed. Like it's weird how much like I like this movie, even though there's flaws in it, and it's kind of like some of the logic is dumb and some of the suspension of disbelief is kind of bad. It kind of reminds me of that Creep Show episode with the Indian
Oh,
in
okay.
the movie, kind of like that. But it just felt like throwback to me, kind of, and it's fucking awesome. And I told you earlier, I guess. This fucking movie had two jump scares in it that fucking got me, and I hadn't been gotten since fucking I was like 8 years old and I was watching Leviathan in the theaters. That was the last time I fucking got scared in a jump scare. And this fucking movie got me twice, dude. My wife looked at me and I was like, "Who the fuck are you? Get out of the house." She was so disgusted with me. And I felt bad. Like, how the fuck, what happened to me? So I don't know if I'm fucking getting old.
Living in your old age.
Yeah. But it's a decent movie. I would highly recommend it, but that's my last honorable mention.
And you said it's a Shudder
And
movie?
yeah, it's on Shutter, Oddity. Without getting too much into, well, I didn't really talk about the other one. Well, Long Legs didn't need to be talked about, but yeah, just go look into it. I saw the TV Glow and Oddity. I would recommend watching all those. Those are my honorable mentions.
Nice. And I'll go ahead and go with mine. For honorable mentions, I guess my first pick, I was gonna go with Late Night with the Devil. I know it was on your list earlier. You're kind of pooing it, but I thought it was entertaining and worth checking out. It did have a short theatrical run. Like I said, it came out in April around the same time as Immaculate, and I thought it was good. I mean, it probably could be a little flawed here and there, but it was still entertaining and worth checking out. And I haven't seen it again. I wouldn't mind rewatching it, but I enjoyed it, and I think it's worth a check out.
Yeah, I would watch it again, but I don't think it's going to change anything.
And my next movie I'm gonna go with for an honorable mention. It's a movie Abigail. And are you familiar with that movie? Not really.
I kind of remember. No, it's a little girl.
Yes. I guess a group of kidnappers are supposed to watch over her for 24 hours for a ransom, and little do they know that they're the actual prey for her, since she's a little kid vampire, and she's basically toying with them the whole night. And not that I went in with low expectations. I guess I kind of did, but it's just one of those good movies that you can just kind of unplug your brain for a little bit and watch it. And it's has some silly moments. It has, I want to say, it horror, but I was entertained with it. It had a little action, some, I guess, maybe suspense, some fight scenes, a lot of blood, guts, and I thought there's a few silly moments in it. And again, it's another movie I wouldn't mind rewatching. 'Cause I mean, like, especially with horror movies, again, they're not really going for Oscars or awards or anything like that. But I thought it was very entertaining.
Uh,
And
I probably wouldn't watch it.
the what?
I probably wouldn't watch it.
Probably. But my last honorable mention was going to be Strange Darling.
Oh.
And yeah, I got to check that one out and didn't know too much about it. I think we saw a trailer, decided to check it out, but then I would say it was a bait and switch in the movie, not in a bad way, but just in regards to the story unraveling.
Yeah, without giving too much away, I saw that one recently. We talked about it the other day, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. I liked it all right, but I would recommend that movie too, especially like you said, like the bait and switch, or not bait and switch, just like I guess the opposite of what you're expecting or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was decent.
Yes, that was my last honorable mention is Strange Darling. I don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's obviously available to rent and whatnot online, but I don't think it's streaming anywhere like on TV or whatnot.
Yeah, I think we rented it on Amazon Prime. I don't. Yeah, like you said, I don't think it's still relatively newish.
Yeah. Okay, so that was our honorable mentions, and now we're gonna circle back to your number one movie of 2024.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip my number two pick because my number two pick is gonna be your number one pick, and it was almost my number one pick, but I changed the last minute. My number one pick is actually like an online movie. I guess a kind of like a saga that you can find on YouTube.
Mm.
It's a pretty epic story, actually. It's the Skippity Toilet. Have you heard of Skippity Toilet? Because
No.
that fucking saga, that online thing went fucking bonkers. But Skippity Toilet is my number one horror movie of the year. It starts off as this toilet creature thingy, and then it kind of takes over the world. But nah, I'm just joking. It's not Skippity Toilet, dude. My number one fucking movie is The Devil's Bath. I just recently saw it not too long ago. Let me read the synopsis. So my number one movie again is The Devil's Bath, not fucking Skippity Toilet. It's Austria in the 18th century. Forests surround villages. Killing a baby gets a woman sentenced to death. Agnes readies for married life with her beloved, but her mind and her heart grow heavy. A gloomy path alone. Evil thoughts arising. I don't know. It's kind of stupid description, but it's just fucking what got me interested in this movie was that it's the same directing team that did The Lodge and Goodnight Mother, or yeah, Goodnight Mommy. Severin, it's a, I guess they're foreign. Severin Falia and Veronica Franz. So these two have teamed up, this man and woman. I don't know if they're a couple or what, but they've done those three movies that I'm really big fan of. Like, I'm a big fan of The Lodge and I'm a big fan of Goodnight Mommy. And this movie was fucking dark. It was awesome. Like I guess it's folk horror,
Mm.
but it's just one of those movies, man. Like like what they do really good in their movies is like there's subtleties. Like they're the opposite of Shyamalan. Like Shyamalan will do something in his movies and he'll mention the fuck out of it and he'll let you know this and that. They do these little things in their movies where they don't make mention to it, but then when you think about it and like you look at it again or you see it, it's like, man, that's they didn't even emphasize that, but then you think about it, it's like it's fucking awesome. And there's no flash, there's no anything. Like it's just brutal, like the world in which this takes place. And it's like it's supposed to be like a historic. That's my big I guess my big grievance with this movie is it's I guess supposed to be based on historical things that actually happened wherever the fuck this story takes place. I wish they wouldn't have mentioned. They kind of mention it in the beginning, and they mention it at the end, like where it starts with words and it ends with words. I would have liked it so fucking much better if it just was the movie and it didn't explain stuff in the beginning with the words and it didn't explain stuff after the movie with words. And it would be left up to you to say, did this actually happen, or for you to look it up and like, was this really what happened in that time period? But anyway, it's just like a small, like I said, folk horror, like 18th century, so like fucking 1700s and shit. So like these people are like, it's fucking primitive. It kind of reminds me of the Banshees of Inisherin, where they're
Mm.
kind of like they're stuck in that fucking world without technology and without advancement. And this is also like a religiously themed movie. So I don't know what their is, because I know the lodge kind of had dealt with cults and stuff. So I don't know how the religious background these two directors have, but it's just, man, it sticks with me afterwards, and I still think of it since I've seen it. Like it's a brutal movie. But it's not like an in your face. It's just psychologically brutal, and it's just sad. Like it's just tough because these people are fucked because they're living in this primitive time and they've got these primitive beliefs, and it's like nothing's gonna save them from that. They're fucking stuck in that time. Like there's no technology, there's no anything that's gonna come along and make their lives any better. But it's on Shutter, and it hasn't been out too long, but I'm a fan of the directors, and this movie just cemented that even more. But it looks boring as fuck, like if you were to look up the trailer, but it's fucking awesome. It looks like The Witch, and then that might be another thing people will say, oh, it's just like The Witch, but it's folk horror, so what the hell are you gonna do? It's folk horror.
Yeah.
But it's very good. So I'm choking to death, but that's my number one pick, The Devil's Bath. But it's fucking good. You should go see it now.
I will think about it.
All right, Jabroni, what's your number one pick? It is also my number two pick.
Oh, my number one pick I'm gonna go ahead and go with The Substance. And it was a movie that you told Nicholas and I to check out, and it was something I completely, I guess, overlooked on my radar. And I forgot how you particularly worded it in your text, but you basically said to go see this movie. Don't even bother looking into the trailer, like just go see it.
It was definitely a good movie to see blind as he can be, and that's kind of like that movie was fucking awesome. Like I don't know, it's probably one of the best movie experiences. Like it's just fucking awesome. Like without giving too much away, because that's part of like the awesomeness of this. But I don't know, like this is definitely a cult movie. Like I can see like the Draft House playing it like next Halloween, and there's even small grumblings that Demi Moore might get a nomination for the movie. But this movie had the right balance. Like it did. It came on my radar because I should look up the name of the woman director. It's a woman director, but she directed the movie. Revenge. I think that was Shudder's first theatrical released movie.
Mhm.
And that movie was awesome. Like it was very awesome. It was very stylish too. Like sometimes like we were talking about some other TV show a bit ago, but sometimes I feel like shows and movies try to be more stylish to substitute for substance. But I think she has a good balance between style and substance. This movie stars Demi Moore and damn it. I don't know the other name, but it's Andy McDowell's daughter. You remember Andy McDowell?
No.
She's the woman from Multiplicity and Groundhog Day, the curly haired woman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's her daughter, the other lead.
Mhm.
Anyway, this movie's got like without I don't know how much you want to give away, but it's just it deals with getting older and age and being I guess like in the Hollywood spotlight type thing and the lengths some people or women would go to maintain that place, I guess that they have, even though they're getting older. I don't know. I know I'm doing a shitty job about it, but like it was a fun experience. I should not like. I got my dad ticket, our dad tickets to see it, and I don't think he's ever been more proud of me in my whole fucking life. Me getting him. It's like when I graduated college, my dad wasn't that proud. I mean, he was happy and stuff. When I got married, had a baby, he was happy, but he was more proud and more happy that I got him tickets to see this movie than I ever experienced him. So it holds that spot in my heart. It would have been my number one pick too, but it's a fun movie too. So it kind of breaks away from horror a little bit. It's a complete like The Devil's Bath is just it's dark, it's sad, it's scary, it's horror, it's just like real horror. So I figured that would be a more suitable number one. But yeah, this movie is just I don't know, it's a good time. This movie is a good time and like I wish it was in theaters more long it wasn't longer, I'd get more people to try to see it. It just to me found the right balance. It wasn't too preachy, it wasn't too like overly this or that. Like it had the right balance. Like it was fun. It wasn't trying to be a hardcore science movie or anything like that. It wasn't trying to be a hardcore this or that, but it had a message. It wasn't too like deep, like, but like it still did a good job. It paid homage to other directors and other things, and it was just a good movie. It was a fun time, and I don't really like fun movies, but it was good, and it had the right balance of comedy and horror and other stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say like the third act.
Yeah, and who was it? Dennis Quaid summoning his Randy Quaid weirdness to play Vince McMahon. It was like Vince McMahon, or like it was awesome. I don't know. I can't, and like I respect Demi Moore the hell out of her for taking this role. And then I'm sorry, I don't know the other woman's name, but it's Andy McDowell's daughter. Like it's just an awesome role, and they did it awesome. Like they did a good job, and it's just man, it's a lot of respect for them to do like such a role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie was super crazy. I know it's available for digital rent or purchase, but I'm gonna wait till the physical copy. I forgot exactly when, but the physical release isn't gonna be until next year, probably early next year. But that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I know you could stream it for free, like if you have a movie subscription or what, forget whatever the hell that channel thing
Yeah.
is. But I don't know what the fucking movie is. But either way, it's a fun movie, and like if you missed it the first time around and you have a chance to see it blind, highly recommended. It's either gonna be down your alley or it's not gonna be down your alley. Fucking dad was saying he was clapping his hands while other people were like fucking disapproving of it or whatnot. But yeah, maybe later on we can do a more in-depth thing about it or something. But it was a good time for those of us that like movies like that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
its seriousness to like go into like a Evil Dead slash Dead Alive. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Cronenberg, Kubrick, and yeah, King Kong. It's fucking all over the place. Like it's not meant to be taken too serious. Like and like I know it's like a lot of movies try not to do that, so you can't be too hard on them. But this movie was just like it did the balance right. Like a lot of movies can't do. Like it was fun. It also had like a message that wasn't too preachy, but it was there, and it kind of even pokes fun of itself in like a way that most movies can do in a good way that most movies use as a crutch. It was used correctly to me. And this, like, I don't know, it's just like a template for how movies should be. Like, they try to be self-referential or like, oh, don't take us too serious. But like, they use that as a crutch to, oh, this is just a bad movie. I don't know. So this was a good movie, and it also was making fun of itself, and it also was self-referential, and it was also like aware of it. Like I don't know, it wasn't too preachy. It didn't go too sci-fi. I knew what it was. It wasn't,
Yeah.
and it did it good. So I don't know. It's hard to talk about because it is like it's one of those movies where you go and I think you sent me one of those like a thing where people posted like movies to best go into blindly,
Yeah.
and it is like it is the more blind you are to the movie, the better it is. But yeah, it could have easily been my number one, but the only reason why I put it at number two was just it was a fun time, and I don't know, The Devil's Bath was more horror and more scary and more sad. But I'm not going to argue with that being your number one. So
But yeah, I think that's gonna conclude our odds and end horror, mostly horror movie review of 2024.
yeah, year in review.
There you go.
But with the few exceptions of movies that haven't come out or haven't been seen yet.
Yes, I know you mentioned a few that I had seen as well or forgotten about. Like you said, the Cuckoo.
Yeah, Cuckoo, Street Trash. It's like it's a weird fucking Street Trash. The original one is fucking awesome, dude. It's like a fucking trauma movie. It's like it's called like melt horror. It's kind of like body horror, melt horror, or whatever. But the original one is fucking awesome, and the new one looks trippy as hell. And then the other one just looks more, I don't know, artsy. The Beast is one that I want to see, but I think it's sci-fi. I'm not so sure how horror it's gonna be. But you said you saw Cuckoo or no?
No, I wanted to see. I missed it, but I do want to see it.
Yeah, so we'll see. And then Nosferatu looks fucking good as hell too, but we'll see.
Yeah, trying to figure out
How
when to see
old
that one since it comes out on Christmas.
Yeah. But yes, as of so far, like I think those are I don't know. Those are my movies of the year.
Yes, but I think we're at a good stopping point. We'll see. We're pretty much at the recording of this. It's pretty much the end of November, so I don't know if aside from Nosferatu, we'll do any other last minute of 2024. But this is where we're at so far. But this is a good recap of the movies of 2024, and I was joined here with Augie the Froggy.
Hey,
I am Obsley 2003,
boo.
signing out. Last but not least, Nicholas Zombie did provide his top movies for the year of 2024. He was unable to be with us for the recording at the time, but he did provide me a list. They weren't exclusively horror movies, but for him, in no particular order except for number one, he included Alien Romulus, Nosferatu, Deadpool and Wolverine, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Longlegs, and Heretic. And Nicholas Zombie's number one movie that he is going for this year is The Substance. Again, was his number one as well as my number one movie of the year for horror movies was The Substance. Can't wait for that one to release on physical media next year. But yes, that will wrap up our 2024 horror movies of 2024. Thanks for tuning in. Have a happy new year. Stay safe and don't forget to settle down.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this Odds and Ends gaming video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting, sharing with your friends, and subscribing if you haven't already. And as always, don't forget to settle down.